Welcome to the present. How we're doing this lovely Wednesday evening. How you doing, Mr. D?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a minute, man. We haven't. We
Yeah.
haven't. We haven't. I have, and it's all my fault. Please, anybody who watches this stream, if you are live right now, if you are comment, whatever, like if you watch it after, the reason we've not had the stream is my fault. Let me just own up before you people start attacking him. Say, hey, there's been no stream. It's me. It's me. I take responsibility. I apologize. It's going to change. We're going to try and schedule something more regular. It's just life is lifing.
Yeah, people to understand that we have our real lives, right? We have understand the responsibility to come and give you guys entertainment and entertainment, but there's real life, guys. You guys understand? There's real life.
Life has been life, my brother.
Exactly.
Left, right, and center. Eposa, how you doing, man?
Hey, Mr. N.Forest, my brother, how you did? These are the day ones.
Yes,
N.Forest, when we've been on, I was on the phone yesterday regarding the match, the excitement. Now, let's start from yesterday's match. How did you see that performance yesterday?
Yesterday's performance, I think, for me, was a continuation of Nottingham Forest. There's something that I strongly believe, which is that this Arsenal team has what it takes to go on to win a lot of laurels. I strongly believe this team has what it takes. Let's not, let's call a spade a spade. They're a good team. I'm not saying it because I support Arsenal. This particular Arsenal crop of players are some of the best in their position, and as a team, there is very strong unit. So when we were playing badly for like the last few games and things were going bad, we were winning and losing games and drawing games and losing. And I just said to myself, look, I think it's just momentum. That's 1, 2. I think that there's a factor from Mikel Arteta, which is conserve energy. This year is going to be a long year, a long season.
Sure.
The new Champions League format means extra games. The Premiership was still in the Carabao and the FA Cup, which by this time last year we were already out. Last season it was like, okay, but now we have to conserve energy and be very wise. And then the injuries and everything, but all of this is not excuses. This is just to say, I think now we're at the point where we're like, all right, it's time to pick up steam. And this team just decided, all right, let's do it. Take off because we know Arsenal can play free-flowing football, but we've been playing defensive football all season for some reason. But yeah, I think we've turned the corner. We did it with Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest are no joke. They're no rub-offs. Starting since August, they've been in and around the top, really making it difficult for everybody. So they're no joke for us to do what we did to them, and then to go to Sporting Lisbon and do what we did to Sporting Lisbon. I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a 2-1 victory. I was expecting a Kai Havertz goal, the Bukayo Saka goal, and a Victor Gyökeres goal. That was my prediction.
If you watch my preview, I had a sneaky feeling because I look at it from this perspective, right? I have a personal mantra that goes by this: performance is a proof of repetition. Because if you have a good performance, it gives you the confidence that you can do what you did. What you did wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a flash in the pan, that kind of thing. So when I saw Nottingham Forest, even though people will say Nottingham Forest are just Nottingham Forest, like, let's be respectful. Nottingham Forest went to Liverpool, saw what they did. They went to Chelsea, and I heard a lot of Chelsea fans saying, "Oh, Nottingham Forest are a decent team." So when we make them look pitiful, they make them look like Nottingham Forest. Suddenly, oh, you're a small team. Let's not rewrite history. Let's not do that because I
don't subscribe to that when I hear people say that. Yeah, when I hear people say stuff like I ignore it. Like the goal, or it's just you have to play who's in front of you. And the truth is, we've seen the mighty City lose back-to-back games, even to teams that they should not be losing to.
Exactly.
Everybody talked about how Sporting Lisbon beat Manchester City and told us that if we get there, it's not going to be an easy game. I knew it wasn't going to be an easy game, but we went there and made it look easy.
Well, I didn't see that way. Now, to put proof to what I'm saying, if you check my preview, I didn't see that. I just saw that Partey, Odegaard available. There's something I enjoy when Partey and Odegaard are conducting that midfield. It gives me a level of confidence.
Look, I am confident when we are our full squad is there. I'm very, very confident when we have our full squad. But at the same time, I'm not naive to what history has said. We've not had very good records on the road with Portuguese clubs in the Champions League for many years, like away. We've not had a good record away. So, and
How long? How long have we been in the recent Champions League? Just 2 years. We make it as it
I know, I'm saying, but in our history of playing against Portuguese teams, generally,
teams.
just these last 2 years and all the times Wenger was there, Portuguese teams were always like our bogey teams away. I mean, home, we always did well against them, but away, somehow we just never were able to get it over the line. You know, it was always a difficult one to get it over the line with Portuguese teams for some random reason. So I don't throw away that history, because one thing you know about football, especially in derbies, you might be playing the best, but you play a particular set of teams that are just your bogey team, and you just can't find a way to win. So I knew it was going to be difficult because of the history, because of the record, because of the things that we faced with them. But it didn't look difficult. It looked easier. We made it look.
Especially the first half. First half.
Yeah, the first half we made it, and I would be honest with you, I was shocked. I was like, okay, you know, kudos to Gabriel and Saliba for really holding Gyökeres off, because I don't think people realize how dangerous that guy was in that game.
No. Now, this is where me and you might disagree, right? I'm not saying Gyökeres is not a good striker, is not a little striker. I don't think if you reduce the space for him to run into, that is where I think he struggles.
I think people need to realize he's not going to play the caliber of Saliba and Gabriel every week.
I understand that.
This is where everybody is at. This is where everybody's wrong about Gyökeres. We can't we can't say in one breath that Gabriel and Saliba are the best center-back defensive duo combo. The combo that not individual but combo in Europe. And then when the best when the highest scoring forward right now in Europe, all of European league comes against them, they hold him off. We say, oh, Gyökeres is not good enough. We can't say that because he's facing the best two. Right, so here's
two things can be right. Two things can be right now.
For me, the chances that he spun Saliba one time and hit the crossbar. You remember that?
Okay.
On Saliba, hit the crossbar.
And I like what you say. One time, just because Gabriel and Saliba are fantastic, that means they will not.
I'm saying, but when he got his chance, he came that close to it. He just needed to have done it a couple more times. But then, of course, he's coming against the best of the best. So a striker like him, who's not coming up against the Gabriel and Saliba weekly, is doing a lot of damage. So if he came to a club like Arsenal, where people are like, we don't want him at Arsenal anymore, I'm like, no, he's not going to be playing against the levels of Gabriel and Saliba week in, week out.
At the same time,
you know,
Premier League are not going to afford him the kind of space he has against the likes of Braga and the other teams in Portugal. We have to put that in perspective, because I've seen Darwin Nunes look prolific in Portugal. I've seen Gonzalo Ramos look prolific in Portugal and struggle elsewhere. We cannot ignore that part.
Listen, but we've also seen players come from other leagues and come to the Premiership and just rip it apart. I can list over the last few years multiple players, even players. Fernando Torres is one of them. Mo Salah is another player that came back and in his first year, 17-18, ripped up the whole place. I can list players who have done that. You know, what's his name? That played for Chelsea, N'Golo Kante was one that came and just ripped it up. So we can talk about the failures, but we don't talk about the successes.
But they have to have a balanced conversation. What I'm saying, that I am not saying he's not good. I'm just saying when I watch him intentionally and watch how he scores his goals, the Premier League defenders are not going to give you that kind of space to run into. But you can't take away that perspective.
You realize that Sporting Lisbon and Arsenal play very, I won't say similar styles, but play to control the game and have a lot of the ball. Sporting Lisbon's average this season is 69% ball possession. Their average, which means that in some games they get 70, and he's the one who's been scoring the most. Arsenal plays that type of football as well, where we keep the ball, and when we don't have the ball.
And I will push back to that. Most Portuguese teams, just like the Spanish team, the mid-table or the lower team, they don't play low blocks like they play in England. We can't take away that part.
If you do go watch most of the teams that have played Sporting Lisbon this season, not last season, at least I have gone and watched about 4 or 5 games. They played low blocks against them. They played a lot of low blocks against them. I've watched at least 5 games. I mean, it's not a lot of data, but
when I say 80% to 90% of his goals, they are transition goals where he's running to space. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. If we play, if you think about this, we have a Martin Odegaard that usually draws 1 or 2 players, 2 defenders to himself. We have a Bukayo Saka that will draw defenders away to create space. We have a Kai Havertz that makes those crazy runs and just draws people away. Martinelli on the wing, he's already drawn away a defender. In those spaces, as a big striker, you throw the ball to him and you know he can shoot.
Yeah, it sounds great academically. It sounds great in theory, but like both of us are arguing there's no concrete proof that if it comes to England, it's going to repeat. We're just speculating. And I
No, no,
understand those that want him, but
I'm just looking at the fundamentals that he has, and I'm saying to myself, can Mikel Arteta work with his fundamentals? I think he can. I've seen him work with Kai Havertz's fundamentals. I've seen him take a player who everybody thought was dead, work with the fundamentals, and bring him back to life. I've seen,
but Arteta didn't bring Nketiah to life.
I know, because listen, because here's the thing about it: not every player will work. What I'm saying is, Nketiah, yes, Nketiah is not 6'2", all muscle, can hold up play just like Gyökeres can. He can't. So there's a big difference. Even if you try to bring it, that's why they told him to bulk up. Eddie bulked up and was still not tall enough. So
I think your physical attributes are a plus, but that is not the head on beat for you to strive as a striker.
I know, but I think football has changed in general. Most managers are looking for the big physical athletes that have fundamentals that they can then create
mold them to something.
And mold them something. Because you're looking at the players that most teams are getting. They are looking for the big guys who have the, let me see. He spawned Saliba and faced a weak Kiwior. I don't think you have let's not make that excuse about a weak Kiwior. The point is, even if it was Gabriel, let's not make that excuse, and I'll say why. Even if Gabriel, what we're saying is he spawned one of the best dual center backs in Europe.
But there's no shame in that.
I'm not saying there's a shame in him. That's testament to how good he can be. And then he's going to face the next best center back again if it was Gabriel that was there. The point that he could not score is just testament to how good our defense was. I'm not when people started dissing him is when I said, don't do that. You can't diss, Victor Gyökeres and say.
So what do you mean dissing? Because people think I'm dissing him. I don't diss him. I've made a stream regarding him that I don't fancy him, but if the club takes him, I'll support him. But I don't fancy him because I think he's a transition striker, which I don't think Arsenal is a transition team. Arsenal is a possession-based team. I'm supposed to say, I'm hating. I don't have my standards up.
But Sporting Lisbon is also a possession-based team.
But they do more of transition.
No. This season, like last season, they did more of transition, not Amorim. This season, when Amorim started with a lot of more possession. Go look at their stats this season. And I've watched 5 of their games. So I'm talking from what I've seen and the stats. You can't have 69% average ball possession in all the 11 games you've played in the league so far, right now in Portugal, and not be a possession-based team. Your average is 69%.
No, it depends. Sometimes you can have the possession and still be a transition team.
I get that, which is why I said, why can't we play to those strengths if we bring him play differently when we bring him in? He doesn't have to be the guy that starts the game. Kai Havertz can start. Let me tell you, we've had games where we've played this season that I thought, you know what, if we just had somebody else up front, those chances because here's the thing that I don't understand about us about a lot of the fan base. The stats this season say that Bukayo Saka has created the most big chances in the league right now, as of today. Bukayo Saka, the most big chances, and we haven't scored them. We haven't put all those big chances away. He has the most assists, and we're not top of the table.
Like those things happen sometimes. It happens sometimes like that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, so in those games where we didn't put them away, we might need a different profile of a striker. We cannot just be a team that is just possession based. We might also have to have a striker that can be transition, so we can switch play in between in-game management. 20 minutes to go, 30 minutes to go, but nothing is happening. Bring in a transition striker. Let's change play. The other team is taking off guard. We can't wait till they study us and they know us in and out, and then
Sarah, I actually acknowledge what you're saying, and I am still stuck on. I don't think it will suit the way we play, but I could be wrong. I'm not the manager. I'm not saying Arsenal shouldn't buy it. I don't just subscribe to Gyökeres.
I hear you, and I understand. I'm just giving my own
your perspective. See, I like this kind of conversation, right? Not someone say, "Oh, you don't like him, you must not know ball." Like we can have different views.
No, I mean, like, of course, you're right. We're not a transition-based team, but I believe that a dynamic team is a team that, because that's what I see football as now. Football is becoming very dynamic. You're seeing massive athletic players doing crazy gymnastics. People like Haaland should not be doing bicycle kick, but they are. They are like it's football is becoming more and more dynamic. People like Pep changed football. People like Mourinho changed football. They changed the way the game is being played. They changed the kind of players that we're looking at. The days of the Diego Armando Maradonas and the Lionel Messi,
The proper footballers.
the guys who could dribble and everything is coming. Ronaldo was a hybrid of both. You could see that he was big, he built his muscle, he could dribble. That's the hybrid of the footballer that most people want. Now people want the giants with the, just the fundamentals. The rest we can do. The rest.
So, guys, do us a favor, guys. Like the video. We have 7 people here. Please like the video. Very important. So we can draw more people in. Please like the video and please subscribe and make sure you go and support. How am I always struggling your channel name again? Please remind me, please.
Banter on the pitch.
Banter on the pitch. Go and support this channel. Very, very important. So let's start from. We're talking about yesterday's game. 5-1, very compelling, convincing. Play yesterday. I like the dynamism we showed, especially in the first half, the control, the movement. It was just everything just seemed very flawless, very easy on the eye, enjoyable. Who stood out for you in yesterday's match?
Oh, wow! The two people stood out for me, and they're both defenders. Gabriel Magalhaes. Oh my God, Gabriel. Oh my God. Oh my God, Gabriel Magalhaes. That's all I can say. Oh my God. Wow. Honestly speaking, like I used to call him a bozo. I have to.
Oh, you're on that train too?
No. When he first came, I used to call him a bozo. I called him a bozo because of the mistakes he made, the things he did. But I can be very honest with you. The next time I travel to England, I'm going to go and look for him and apologize. I will find him. If I know if I'll find his barber's shop, I'm going to sit down there and wait. You will come and cut your hair here one day. As in, I am sorry. Like yesterday, I mean, honestly, Gabriel Magalhaes, and I have to give it to right back again.
Timber. Caliber and Timber. Timber and Caliber.
Don't get me wrong. Any one of our players could have been man of the match. Is it Odegaard we're talking about, or Bukayo Saka?
Or Partey.
Thomas. Thomas. I won't call it Partey. Thomas. You're answering your real name now. You're now representing the name. No, we played. And it scares me if we can maintain this standard all through. I know they have it in them. My thing is the volume of games, if they can actually keep up with the volume of games. I know they have it in them to play this way. It's just the volume of games that is
that's your worry, your concern.
Yeah. So there's a bunch, man. Yesterday's game was just. I was like, so this is Arsenal. This is the Arsenal that we know. This is the Arsenal.
I know that performance is in us because I understand injury that actually has done us a bit very dirty this season. But I know that if we are fit and all our players are available, we can do some major colossal damages to a lot of teams. And I believe a team will take 8-0 this season from Arsenal. I believe it will come. We are going to smack a team this season, as we did last season. So
yesterday's win for me 5-1. I just look back at our Champions League history. We've replicated one of our biggest wins that we've ever done. I mean, we've done 7-0 against smaller teams in the Champions League, but against the
I think we did 7-1 against Inter with the Christian Vieri's team.
It was
5-1. 5-1.
We did 5-1. We replicated that 5-1 against Inter. Inter was a 5-1 win, and I think that for me, this win against Sporting Lisbon, I think what I take away from it, the most important thing.
If you don't mind, sorry, I'm going to break that thought process, right? I'm sorry. I want to point out something. Now, I'm sorry you watched that game against Inter a few years ago. Some people here might not have watched it. If you compare that game to this game, which one do you think had a better performance? That game or this game? Yes,
we had a better performance in Lisbon.
Exactly my sentiment.
Yeah, we had a better performance in Lisbon. Compare game for game, we had a better performance. Lisbon was, but for me, like honestly, going away to Lisbon, in this new format of the Champions League, and winning that big does a lot for the psyche of the players. We haven't won away in the Champions League since this.
Without so much temerity.
we haven't, it's been, at home we haven't conceded at home in the Champions League. We've drawn, we've won one, we've done this.
Yeah.
Inter was a okay, it's a San Siro, we're going to go there. It's going to be tough, and and if they didn't get that penalty, then it is what it is. It would have been a draw, because I think we went there to play for a draw the way we kind of played Inter. And I was saying then,
But if you look at the second half of performance yesterday, I talk about yesterday's performance or
no, the Inter performance, the one that we played this, we played Inter Milan this season in the
a
Champions
few
League.
weeks ago, right? Yeah, that second half performance deserved the goal. Unfortunately,
yeah, it did. I'm a little biased to say it deserved the goal, because we could have done better still. Like, there were just things that I just felt like we were a little more conservative. And for me, that was the game where I was saying Arsenal needs to win big in the Champions League now, away at a team like Inter. Score 1-0, win dirty, win ugly, win whatever, and just come out of there.
Yeah.
And when you come out with that victory, it does a lot for your psyche as players.
Definitely.
Like, we crushed them at the San Siro, regardless of whether, but we did not. So that for us would weigh heavy when you then go to Lisbon. You go to Porto, it's not like, oh, we need to win. And then, of course, they turned it around and they did a 5-1 victory. I think for the psyche of the players, it's going to be very important that they win away, and that's good. So, yeah, I'm happy. I'm really happy about yesterday's performance. Like, just breaking it down, looking at the entire game, the entire 90 minutes, I was just like, man, these guys can do this. Like, why don't you do this regularly?
Exactly. But games that stood out for me was the maturity we showed when we were under the coach. You can't have the bulk of possession throughout the whole game. It's not even Prime Barker didn't have the possession throughout the whole game. But when we were under the coach, when Lisbon were pushing, especially in the second half, I like the fact that we rolled their storm off. We were matured. We didn't over complicate it. I like that level of maturity when you are under the coach. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, we did show levels of maturity. We showed that we've grown from like 2 seasons ago, where we would have still been trying to go gun ho. But also I like the fact that there was a lot of rotation early. Mikel Arteta is learning now to rest players on time, because it's going to be a long season. It's going to be a long season, and you want to manage injuries. People like Jurriën Timber, who just came back from an ACL injury, people don't understand. You've got to manage it. People like Calafiori, who has had a knee injury in his career that almost ended his career, and he's come back from it. And the last injury he had again was a knee injury. It could become recurring. You've got to manage him. This is why we see Tommy Yasu is out all season. This is why we're seeing players out, because if you don't manage those little nicks, eventually it's all going to, little drops of water make a mighty ocean. Eventually it's going to become a big deal. So I'm glad he's doing a lot of in-game management. He's changed, quick changes. So yeah, I think, again, I don't know if anybody remembers that I did predict this. I said this season it's going to be, for the league, it's Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City. I said this at the beginning of the season, and a lot of people laughed at me. And I know that right now people are saying, yeah, but Liverpool is already 9 points ahead. Yeah,
very surmountable. Very surmountable.
Yeah, it's difficult surmounted, but it is surmountable, because if you look at history of the Premier League, not before the Premier League, I'm talking like since 1992, right? When the Premier League started. Manchester United, Arsenal, and a bunch of teams have overcome 13-point, 10-point, 11-point deficits. In fact, last season, game week 20, Liverpool was 5 points ahead of Arsenal.
Yeah.
By the end of the season, we were 7 points ahead of them, which was a 12-point swing. So we had it. Not only did we have to catch up 5 points, we had to go 7 points ahead. That's a 12-point swing. So I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, but it's doable.
Arsenal, no, it's very doable.
Arsenal has done a 13-point swing before to win the league. 13 points.
Now, let me ask you a question. Despite, I know you watch a lot of football. I'm sure you're watching Liverpool regularly. Have you been convincing by their performance? I'm not saying they've not gotten the results. Shout out to Liverpool. But maybe it's just me.
I've been convinced by performance.
I'm not being very convinced by performances. I just think they're just getting rid of the greens here and there sometimes.
If you watch Liverpool before under Klopp and you watch Liverpool under Arne Slot, it's the same Liverpool, but more control. Just go watch 2 of their games. Go watch Klopp with the same team.
No, yeah. They are more conservative with a Slot. They are more gung-ho with Klopp.
And that conservativeness, right? Being conservative is what's making them control games and dominate games. And it doesn't look nice. You don't really see it, but it's getting the results done. They're hard to break down at the back. Once they get forward, they're very quick to get forward. And once they get forward, they're very calculated with exactly how they want to play. And if they don't get it, they'll start again.
No, the reason why I hold my opinion, like I saw the Southampton game. If Southampton were a bit more street smart, they have gotten something against Liverpool. I saw the Chelsea game. I don't know how Chelsea lost that game to Liverpool.
Again, that's what I'm saying. Like that whole frustrating other teams and just basically like controlling the game.
Yeah.
You when Gravenberch takes the ball and doesn't drive forward but drives back, and then you're following him, and then he passes it to Van Dijk, and Van Dijk just finds Nunes, and Nunes just takes off running. By the time your midfield starts chasing that guy, he's giving it to Mo Salah just as fast on the left. So the way they play now is they're literally more controlled with their gun-ho football, and they're very, very pragmatic, and they know exactly who gets the ball where and when. Arne Slot has drilled them to now play that way. Now, another team might play them and look really good on the ball, but if you can't break them down, then what's your looking good? What does it do?
No, it's not about looking good. It's like sometimes okay. Let's take a banter aside. We both hate sports. We are smart fans, right? I watch now. If I want to be disingenuous and be in bad faith and be a dick, right? I watched Man City against Spurs. In the first 10 minutes, Man City have been 2 or 3 goals up. If you watch the game, right? But we saw what the result did. Football can be very cruel sometimes. So when we make it massive,
but we know this about Man City. So here's the thing about it: they look like.
So what I'm saying, my point is that even though Spurs won and they deserve their victory, I'm not taking anything away. But sometimes, if you convert your chances, the result could be different.
If you do convert your chances, but you also have to then look at the team that we're talking about. Manchester City is a team who look at their front line. If Haaland is not scoring, nobody is. Foden is on 1 goal this season. Kovacic is Guardiola is their second highest goal scorer, a defender.
Yeah.
Right. Who's on the right? Who's on the left? Savinho.
I agree with Cositi's comments. That's what I've been saying. I'm not saying Liverpool are not good, but they've been lucky.
I wouldn't call it luck. I would say they've got the better side of the spectrum for everybody.
For now,
everybody's season is going to go through ups and downs. And here's the thing: this whole season, just like Arsenal had their invincible
injuries,
red cards. Like we had our invincible season where everything went well for us. This might be Liverpool season where everything goes well for them to the end of the season.
It will not. No, it will not. Listen, I reject that.
It's not impossible. So
I get that it's not impossible. Yeah.
Like if their luck is going to run out, what if their luck runs out after like 40 games? Which means that they can go the rest of the season, win all their games, then their luck eventually runs out after.
They are not going invincible. At least Liverpool ain't going invincible.
I'm not saying they will. I'm saying we've seen it happen.
Don't put it out. You're trying to put it out in the air.
No, I'm just saying because it's happened before, I don't write it off the book. I just know that I hope it doesn't happen, but I don't write it off. I don't say, oh, their luck will run out because there's no certainty of that. Since I've seen another team do it.
But it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
It's a possibility that could happen, But yeah, just generally speaking, like when you talked about the Manchester City thing, I said City already don't have scorers. I don't know what's going on with them, but none of their other. Savinho is not scoring. Doku scored 1 goal. Foden has scored 1 goal.
It's a blip. They'll get out of it.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Hear me out. Because they don't have any other forward scoring except Haaland. If you mark Haaland out of the game, they find it difficult to score. In the first 10 minutes, they look good. They look like they could have scored many goals. But because Haaland was marked out, they were unable to score. And the minute that drought is done, you hit them. Their defense has been leaky this season. Look at what they did yesterday. They gave up a 3-0 lead to Feyenoord. This is the team that you were talking about against Tottenham, and Tottenham did what they needed to do. No, it is
coming for you today. Yeah.
It is nearly impossible to go unbeaten. I'm not saying, but I'm saying it's been done, so I don't write it off the books. That's one thing.
Yeah.
I won't call it luck right now. I would just say, hey, it is because I don't.
So you don't believe there's luck in football?
No. I believe you make your own luck in football. I believe you make your own
But
luck in
you
football.
still believe there's luck in football. Either you make it, but there's still luck in football.
Yes, there is luck, and I think they're making
Okay.
their luck, and they're doing what they need to do to make it right right now, and they're rotating as madly as possible. Every
No,
week you see,
they've had the luck of not having what I call significant injuries to their main
yes,
players.
which is why I said that
Yeah.
they're making their luck by rotating their players since they've not had major injuries. Even
Yeah.
slots like I've not had injuries, so let me keep rotating so that I can reduce the risk factor of getting injuries on a lot of my players, which is a good
Eventually,
thing.
it will come.
No,
It will come.
no. Hey, if you manage it well, it may not come. It
Nah,
may
no matter how you manage it, sometimes come on, these things happen. Injuries are
All
part of
right,
football. Injuries are
all
part
right.
of football.
We saw Leverkusen just last season. I know you say they're not in the Premier League. We saw it happen with them. We saw what
That's a
happened.
farmers league. That's a
No.
farmers league.
Royal Leverkusen in the Farmers League went ahead and had an unbeaten run in all competitions. So even in their league, fine, Farmers League. What about in the
They didn't win Europa Cup. They didn't win
I
it.
don't know. I said they went unbeaten until they got to the final against this thing. But they went unbeaten against some really big teams in Europe as well.
But they did not end up doing it when it mattered the most.
I understand. My point is they went before that final. Nobody beat them. They beat everybody.
But for you to be unbeaten, you have to win that final. You have to win it.
I said they were unbeaten in their league.
Yeah.
And they won.
Well, they had that one. Yeah, I respect that one. Yeah.
That one check, regardless. So now in Europe, so I said let's agree that okay, everybody says it's a farmers league. So okay, let's disregard their unbeaten in the Bundesliga because we call it the farmers league. They went all the way to the final of the Europa without losing to any European team again until Atlanta. Like they literally dominated every other European team. So that tells you that your luck can be reading that far, is what I'm saying.
And I still stand by. They should have, if they had won it, I'll say kudos to them. Since they didn't win it, I'm sorry, I'm going to be petty. I am going to be very, very petty. Yeah.
I just because you're right. Last season, they're at the point they were, and I'm not saying, and last season we saw them have a lot of injuries, and of course they fell off. I'm not saying that too cannot happen, but what I'm saying is I choose not to even look at what Liverpool is doing. I choose to look at what Arsenal needs to do now going forward. Whoever wins this league, whoever wins this league this season cannot win with more than, I think, 86, 87 points is going to win the league this season. That's my prediction. My projection because of the likes of Chelsea in the race, who are maybe not the Premier League, but good enough to just cause problems for teams.
Them and Man City. Man City are still going to cause some chaos.
The likes of Man City, the likes of N.Forest, who are still going to drop, but are going to cause chaos on their way down, which is good because if you look at the table, right?
There are two teams. I remember I said at the beginning of the season, Brighton and Bournemouth, they are going to cause a lot of chaos. And we've seen how they've taken Man City scalp.
Yeah.
Bournemouth are taking Arsenal scalp. So when I say the Premier League is the most competitive, I am not joking. It is.
No, it is. It is. I just think that eventually, like if you look at the table right now, the gap between Manchester United, who is 14th or 12th or 13th or whatever, and 6th position is like 3 points. So it's like this is where you have to be careful with just saying, oh, this person is 12, this person is, because 2 games and they're up in there causing more problems, So
exactly.
I think whoever needs to win this league this season probably going to win with 87 points. So let's do the maths right now. From me right now, let me pull up the table. Sorry, I just want to pull up the table real quick. All right, so right now, Arsenal has 22 points, right? Brighton has 22 points. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th all have 22 points. Guess what 2nd has? 23 points, 1 point difference. Guess what 6th has? 19 points. 7th, 19 points. 8th, 19 points.
19 points.
9th,
18 points.
10th, 18 points.
18 points. It's tight.
Do you understand? Like it's that crazy.
City, very tight.
United can win a game now and go to 19, right above N.Forest, and go all the way to 7th. So my thing is, we're at 22 points now. If we need 87 points to win, right? Let's just say 87 wins us the league. I'm just doing a,
the projection and the computation.
Yeah. So that would be 65. If we won every game that we needed to win, 65, we would, we would need to win 21 straight games. Now, how many games are left out of 12?
27, 26, 26.
26. So we have
Yeah.
the luxury of losing or drawing 6 games. That's the way I kind of calculate it. Now, do you want to have the luxury of drawing those 6 back to back? I would rather draw those 6 back, have those 6 as draws and win 21 and lose none.
Sure.
Right? That solidifies me to actually win the league. Because if I don't lose, even if I'm dropping points to gain points because I know that regardless of what happens. Now, if we say that 87 points is what wins the league, right? Let's look at what Liverpool has. Liverpool has 33 points right now. So if you remove 87 minus 33, right? Liverpool need 54 points to win the league. If you divide that by wins, Liverpool need to win 18 games. They just need to win 18 games out of 26. That means Liverpool has the luxury of drawing or losing 8 games. That's a lot of luxury there. That's why I said it's going to be a difficult task. Like they have the luxury of drawing or losing 8.
Yeah, but football sometimes can go beyond these permutations we're doing. Exactly.
It will go beyond it. It will.
Yeah,
I'm just painting the picture so that
which is fantastic. I just think let's go on a run in the next few games, win 5, 6, 7 straight games before we get any draw. If possible, we can continue to go on a winning run. I would love that. I just think if we do not suffer any major injuries to key players, we can go on a run. That's how I say it.
No, yeah, we will go on a run, and I think we showed last season that we can go on a run. We went out of 18 games, we did 16 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss.
Yeah,
that could have been an easy 17 wins and one draw. But we have to learn to rotate. That's the key thing. If we rotate properly, and another thing I was saying was like, look, here's the thing for me: we're in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. If we get to the semifinals, the next semifinal, Arteta field. If we're facing a team that is not such a strong team, field the B players and see what happens, and then throw in some.
I don't think it's going to do that. I just think once we get to semifinal, we have to win it. We have to win it.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying no. Hear what I'm saying. I'm saying if we're in the semifinal and we're playing a Coventry, I would say play Ethan Nwaneri and all these guys, but have the Odegaard and everybody on the bench to come in one half immediately. Like, be ready for whatever happens. Because at that stage, anything can happen. But my thing is like when we get there, you're right. It is time to win it. Win that.
Time to win it, yeah.
Because the luxury that we have is the luxury of 5 games. Liverpool have the luxury of 8 games. If we went by, if we said the league will be won by 90 points. It becomes even more difficult for us.
Yeah.
We cannot afford to lose any games till the end of the season, and Liverpool can afford to lose 3 or 4 games and still win.
I just think no matter how I understand the disappointment, how we have this bumpy ride so far. So Liverpool are gapping up with 9 points. Let's see. Even though people are thinking Man City are falling off the surface of the earth, they are done. This weekend could be where the resurrection starts. A lot could happen this weekend.
Pep scratching his head and his face. I don't know about resurrection. I don't know about that. I just know
that. I'm not writing off Man City, even though I would love to glean and write them off. I'm not writing off Man City. It's a glitch. It's a blip. They will get over it. They will. So I'm not writing on Man City. So
I don't want Man City. Man City. Do you see this? Man City. Do you see this, Man City? January is coming, Manchester City. January is coming.
You're petty.
I can't wait for you. When you get to January, you shall see me. I am the face of the Chargers. January is coming, Man City.
I think they'll find it. They'll find a way around it. I just believe they'll find a way around it. They say they're in crisis. People overly reacting. This hysterical reaction. Nah, it's just people trying to sensationalize everything. Man City, they'll get over it. They'll get over it. I believe.
We have to admit that for a team that has the caliber of what Man City has done in the last 5 years, this is a crisis.
No, they're a victim of their standard. It's not a crisis.
That's why it is a crisis for them. I'm saying for them. So it might not be a crisis for any other team. For them, if you've set a particular standard and kept it up consistently, you have showed the world that this is what you do. You're not. It wasn't like they did it one time and then they fell off. No, they were consistent with it year in, year out, year in, year out, year in, year out. Which means that's who you are, right?
But you are allowed a loss of form.
I know, but no, but you're allowed a loss of form, and depends on the level of loss that you have, which we can then turn around and say, oh, for your standard, this is a crisis. 5 games back to back in all tournaments, not winning any, has
Let me ask you a question. Are they mathematically out of the title race?
No, they're not. What I'm talking about is this. I'm talking about what they have never done before. So, for example, Pep, no team since 1956, right, has gone 5 games. No team vying for the league title has gone 5 games back to back losses in all tournaments. Now 6 games without a win. Pep, in all of his career, has never had to suffer that kind of thing. So that's why I said it's a crisis for them, because they don't know how to manage such things. Other teams that have been through, Southampton understands what it means to lose 5 back to back or 6 back to back.
Southampton doesn't understand how to compete for a title race.
I know, but Southampton, that's not the crisis for Southampton. That's what I'm saying. The crisis for Southampton is not knowing how to compete for a title race. The crisis for Man City is not knowing how to lose 5 back to back.
But they are still mathematically within to win the title. Mathematically, they can still win it, whether we like it or not.
I know they can. What I'm saying, I'm talking about the now, though.
I get you, but that's why I don't see it as a crisis. I understand people.
I'm not talking about the whole season. The whole season, they're still in it. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying, but when other teams see you lose 4 or 5 back to back, it gives them the boldness to say, I ain't scared of Man City. If these guys could do it, if Feyenoord could come back, Feyenoord, Dutch League, come back on 3-0. Who are these guys that they think? No, people are going to buck up.
Yeah, they'll buck up until you get punched in the mouth. Everybody can say.
I know, but what I'm saying, like, so now it gets harder for you to get back in the groove as Man City, because everybody's bucking up now. It was different if everybody was cowering and you got the space and time to get back in the groove, and then now show your big boy self again. Now
you can still show it. You can still show it. You can bounce back and tell them, yes, a few weeks ago I was going through it. Now you want to show out. I'll put you in your place.
It's been
I say it.
It's been 5 weeks, my brother.
See, I just believe this weekend Liverpool might mean for a surprise. I just see that way. I see Liverpool might mean for a surprise. Yeah.
To be honest,
he that is down fears no fall. It can't fall beyond how they're falling.
Yeah, I would like for them to beat Liverpool to slow it down, because for me that was my mathematical permutations that I've been doing all season. If they beat Liverpool, if they beat Liverpool, they are 23. They get 26. Liverpool stays at 33. That's 5 points between them. No, 33, 26. Yeah, that's 6 points. What is it? Yeah, 6. Yeah.
Yeah, if they beat Liverpool, it causes 6 points between us.
Yeah, so 6 points between them, and then of course, if we win our game, which we should win now, we would now be at 25, which would not be what? Yeah, we would be 6 points between us and Liverpool. 5 between them. So that's good because 6 points is 2 games. So for me, 2 games is a swing anytime, because there's a lot of football to play.
Sure.
So that's where I want us to be. But if they beat Liverpool and they go 11 points ahead,
they beat Man City rather.
So if they beat Man City and they go 11 points ahead, and we win our game, right now we're 9 points 9 points behind. If we win our game, we will still be 9 points behind them. 3-game swing is
not a lot. I would say it's a lot if we have played like 20 games. You've not played up to 20 games.
No, here's what it is. It's not a lot, but it's harder because they have the leeway to at least even lose those 3 and get back into winning ways again. If they lose 3 and we catch up with them, they have to get. And now we cannot afford to lose any game, because all we're doing is catching up at that point. That's why I said it's harder. So as a team,
I understand it's harder, but I still understand that sometimes you don't want to be the one being chased. It's better to be the one chasing than you be the one being chased sometimes.
I just think that, look, if you are going to be chased and you've given yourself a buffer, like if we're running a marathon and I've given myself
it takes one game crack for them to feel the pressure. Trust me. Once
Yeah,
Liverpool lose that one game, it was like, can you
but
hold on?
we all said it about Nottingham Forest, and they came back and they bounced back. The Nottingham Forest game at Anfield, Nottingham Forest at Anfield. I'll repeat, this was the beginning of the season where they had already started looking like they were fly, and Nottingham Forest came
Mm-hmm.
and knocked them in the head, and everybody said, "Oh, I'm not defending Liverpool. I'm just saying that look, football is funny, right? Where
Yeah.
because they're giving themselves a big buffer, they have a 3-game buffer right now against anybody behind them.
See, Mr. Day, I've watched enough football to say even a 10-point buffer is surmountable.
Now, I'm even talking about games. I'm not even looking at the points.
Yeah, the
I'm not
three
saying
games. Yeah.
I'm saying it's surmountable, but I'm saying you can turn around your momentum in 2 or 3 games, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They've given themselves the amount of games to be able to allow them, they've given themselves that room to allow themselves be able to now breathe when they have those kind of falls. Like if they lose,
See, academically, right? It sounds great. Oh, 9 points. See, once you lose one game, then the pressure cranks up. Like, oh, you can't afford to lose on that game. Lose on that game. For me, okay, let me give you an example. Right, I was talking with Mr. Fosa, my guy. It's like, when have you watched certain games where, let's say, it's Southampton, like the last game against Liverpool, right? When they went 2-1 up, I'm like, you scored too quickly. Now, if you scored at the 85th minute against Liverpool 2-1, it's better. But when you score that early, I'm like, nah, you've taken the lead too early. Do you understand the kind of analogy I'm trying to paint?
I totally understand that,
So
but
sometimes I just think sometimes you can have this quote unquote 9 board buffer too early in the season.
So here's the thing: if you talk to most coaches, and most coaches will never talk about points, they'll talk about the games, which is why I'm referring to games, and that's what I've been saying. Game. Most coaches say we take it. Arteta says it game by game. He doesn't talk about points. You don't hear managers say,
but managers
hold on.
they like to say certain things too.
No, because no. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Let me hear you out here.
Inside the game, you can change your momentum. If you've lost the last game, in the next game, it's about the game. It's about the game. It's about the playing. Like you're in it, you change your momentum to a winning way. You're like, all right, we're back. So it's not about thinking about the points. It's about why am I off today? Why are my passes not connecting?
So you're telling me you don't consider the point deficits?
No. You can't hear me out. Most managers are the ones they look at the table here. But if you don't change the mentality of your players in the pitch, let's say your players have momentum now and they're losing, like City. City just needs one good win. If City had beat Feyenoord 3-0, I promise you Liverpool will be looking at City different this weekend. But Liverpool is going in with chest because of what has happened. So my point is it's about the game with the managers. If you change the mentality of the players for a game and they pick up steam, it becomes harder again to catch them, which is why I said Liverpool have given themselves a 3-game buffer. Forget the 9 points. They have 3 games that we have to do to catch up to them. We're the ones who have to catch up. If they lose one game and in the next game they change their mentality and they win it, they still go back to having a 2-game buffer. We just have to.
I get the analogy, but you can change your mentality and see from time. I don't wholesale believe in this mentality. I just believe in player quality and being good on the day. All this mentality is subjective because if you're winning, suddenly you are mentality monsters. But if you're going to a bleep, suddenly what happened to your mentality? So I don't like to go with those conventions of mentality because it's highly subjective. So are you telling me Man City's players have lost their mentality because they are going through a bleep? Very subjective.
No, I'm not saying they've lost mental. So here's the thing: when I say change players' mentality, I'm not talking about their psyche or how they think. No, it's more about okay, why are we losing these games? What mistakes are we making? Let's change how we think about the game. Let's change how we approach the game. That's the mentality I'm talking about. Let's change how we approach. Like, what are we doing wrong? Or maybe what we're doing is right. We're just not effecting it the right way at the right time. So let's keep up what we're doing. But instead of making the move now, make the move 10 minutes into the game. In the first 10 minutes, just control the game, slow it down, sober it down. Like, this is the mentality I'm talking about. Like, it's not just that's tactics and mentality together. But if you hear managers talk about game by game. You don't hear managers talk about point by point. Because the reason is if you do what you need to do in the game, you will get the points. So that's the reason you want to get is you do what you need to do in the game. So I think that, they have a buffer of about 3 games, which is good for them. If they lose one now, all they need to do is fix up in the next game. If they lose that one, they must fix up in the next one. Otherwise, everybody's now on their tail. But at least it puts them in a position where they are still in the race. because
Yeah,
they were.
definitely
Yeah,
they're entitled to it. Even at the beginning of the season, I said Love fans can try to minimize and try to gaslight and tell us you're not in a title race because you didn't sign Zubimendi. Nah, you are in a title race. Even though you
Mhm.
don't accept it, academically you're in a title race. And I think they're a good team, but I don't think they have enough to sustain it. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. Maybe I'm just master bias has taken over my head. We'll find out.
Yeah, me,
So
I can't. Me, I just look at the game. I can't be biased at this stadium. One thing I'll tell you that I know that one thing but one thing I will say is again,
yeah,
I still strongly believe, and this is not about bias or anything, that we
yeah.
win the league this season.
Me too.
Yeah, I
Me too.
strongly believe we win the league this season, and I know everybody's gonna be like, oh yeah, but Liverpool, and I'm like, yep. I predicted this on Mo's show. I predicted it on Hussein's show. I predicted it on the terrace. I said at the beginning of the season, I said it's very clear for me who's going to win. It's going to be Arsenal. I said Liverpool second and City third, and everybody said, look at you, blah. And I
Now,
said,
when we went to that wobble, when we couldn't win in the last 34 games, I was upset because I just think that Teta would have done certain things more sensibly and more pragmatically. But I still think 9 points is very surmountable, and we can actually get there. We can win the league, and I am very, very optimistic. I am very quietly confident we are going to win this league, provided we do not suffer key injuries to key players. That's the caveat for me. That's the caveat for me. So we can do that. I like this momentum. I like what I'm saying, both domestically and in Europe. We are looking well. We are playing well. The points are coming. We can keep our key players healthy. Like you said, Timber, Calafiori, Saliba, Gabriel, Pate, Rice, Moreno. We can keep all those players fit. Even Trossard is looking like Trossard again. So I'm excited for what this season can bring.
we have to use our players the way the Trossard comes in off the bench and scores. Like that's the Trossard. That's just a Trossard thing to do. Like we
Yeah,
just
even Jorginho's performance in that first half against Nottingham Forest was just
it was his yellow
immaculate.
card. It was his yellow card.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then
that was just
at least
immaculate.
Waneri is looking very, very good on the ball. So I think we have what it takes to catch up. The question now is, do they have what it takes to continue the momentum with that? Because we will definitely catch up. We've gone through a blip, and I think now that we have a lot of our players fit, we're going to amass a lot of points. Fingers crossed we don't get any major injuries, like you said. And this team has what it takes to catch up to 9 points. That I know.
Let me ask you a question before I forget, because Jesus' performance against Nottingham Forest, is it me? It wasn't excellent. I just think it was good in comparison to what we've seen from Jesus this season. The performance I saw against Nottingham Forest, I'm like, am I exaggerating?
Gabby Jesus is Gabby Jesus. He just causes chaos. And I think he's back to, against Nottingham Forest, he was back to causing chaos. I think the only problem is a lot of Arsenal fans, when we brought him in, put on the goggles of in number 9 on Gabby Jesus.
Yeah.
And so they're unable to remove those goggles and see what good he brings to the team right now. It's like saying you bought something for, like you bought a sofa, a chair that you wanted to put in the corner, right? And then you put it in the corner and it's not looking like the way the chair is. So you now just put it in the center of the living room, but you're like, I don't like this chair anymore. No, you need to appreciate the new beauty of what it does, and I think what he did against Nottingham Forest, he did what Gabby Jesus does, just causes chaos. Link up play, 1-2-1-2, cause chaos, dribble here, cut the ball here. I think he needs to bring his head down a little bit more and just not overcomplicate and overthink things. He's trying super hard to really, really get back to form, but he shouldn't try. He should just enjoy the game. He should just
let it be natural. Let it be natural, and he'll get back to form. I also think that based on what we've seen this season, that was his best performance in context to what we've seen from him this season, and it wasn't that bad. I was surprised he didn't get more minutes in the Champions League. Hopefully, he will get at the weekend against West Ham. So, thank you so much. Shout out to everybody that has joined us for this discussion regarding Arsenal momentum, back to winning ways in the Premier League, and the emphatic win in Lisbon. So, guys, go on to his channel. Very important. Banter on the pitch.
Who is Sporting Lisbon? What's that? What's a Sporting Lisbon? What's that?
Sporting CP.
Is it
Sporting CP.
Is it a biscuit? Is it a biscuit? What's the Sporting CP? Is it a biscuit?
But they told us, they demolished Man City. We couldn't go there and do what we did to them, but we
I don't,
went
I
there.
don't, I
We
don't know what
saw.
it
We conquered.
is. It biscuit? Is it sweet? Is it gari? Is it a bar? What
It's a
is?
team. It's a team Jokeres plays for.
Oh, it's a noun. It's a name of a animal, place, or thing.
It's our team.
It's okay. I get it. Hey, Sporting. I'm just joking. Before you guys come after Sporting fans come after me.
So, how do you see to this weekend's game against West Ham? West Ham won on Monday against, who did they play on Monday? They played the team
They played
Newcastle. Yeah. So, what do you think about that game?
I think it's going to be a tough look. Every game going forward is a tough game for us, and everybody says, well, "How can you say that about teams that are not in form?" Yes, because they're playing Arsenal and they feel like this Arsenal team needs to be demolished. Like that's why it's going to be a tough game. There's no team coming to play us that is coming to play us. Oh yeah, we're just going to do. No, there's none. There's none. Most teams coming to play Arsenal literally just want to massacre us.
Exactly. They raised their game. For some reason, they raised their game to next level. So
and so for me, like I think that it's going to be a really, 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 really hard game. It's away. We know what they did to us last season. We know what West Ham did last season. Yeah, as bad as they were, they did something to us last season. As good as we were last season.
No. Remember what they did to them last season? Forgotten?
No,
went
that was
to that stadium.
That was the second half of the season. You know what they did to us in December?
In the Carling Cup.
They knocked us out of the Carling Cup.
Yeah,
let's not sit here and look. I like recency bias. I like that we beat them 6-0. I remember that, but I can't forget what they did to me.
Yeah,
so I know it's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be an easy game. So we will win. I think we will win, but it's not going to be an easy win. Europe is not EPL. EPL is not Europe.
Definitely. Definitely.
So, we shouldn't ride on the Sporting Lisbon win and be like, oh, the way we beat Sporting, we're going to go there and massacre them. No, I think we win, comfortably, but it's going to be tough. It's away.
Definitely.
Any away game is always tough. We've got a good away record. I think that would play well into our own hands to try to carry on that in our mentality and be like, we have a good away record. We're not about to soil it. Let's just, it will be a difficult game, but we'll win. We'll win.
Okay. So shout out to everybody that's joined us for this stream, from Kositi to Cyrus Oyeniyi, to Mr. Efosa. You guys have been very, very wonderful for joining us. So we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys for joining us. So I'll try and do more live often, especially if Mr. Dayo here has time. We'll try and do a show can bring you more consistent content. So, like I said, life in. We have individual lives to live, so you guys understand, right?
Life has been life in. In fact,
exactly. So you guys have to understand. But we'll try to be more consistent. So we'll try our best to find a fixed schedule so we can be more consistent with you guys. So if you're watching this on the playback, please do us that kind favor. Like the video, subscribe if you're new, and make sure you turn on your notification bell and go to Banter on the page to support Mr. D's channel. Wonderful quality content right there. Very, very important. So your last word as we round up.
Arsenal, let's go, baby, let's go. We've turned the corner.
You see, we want to see more of that. You can see they are calling you out.
It is time. Thank you, Mr. Cyrus. I will. So, Mr. Cyrus, let me. Okay, since you are our family, you are here all the time. I will let you know.
Exactly.
I'm having a new baby. So it's a lot going on with baby and on the way, and that's why. But we'll fix some time. We'll fix a proper time where we're going to be more regular, and we'll do this.
Yeah.
And then yes, we'll plan his phone because it's not a bad idea. We can do it.
Yeah, we'll do that. Exactly. We'll plan one for you guys to come and share your opinions too. We are not just here to pump you guys all the time. No, we want to hear from you guys too. We are not citadel of knowledge. We want to hear from you guys, and we appreciate you guys have our time to come and listen to us. We don't take that for granted, respectfully. So thank you so much. So guys, that'll be all for today. Enjoy your evening, depending on where you are. It's evening where I am. Enjoy your holidays if you're in America. Thanksgiving tomorrow. So, just telling congratulations, Dayo.
Some of us are working on Thanksgiving. Plus, man, I appreciate it, Kosi. Thank you, Mr. Cyrus. Appreciate it, Cyrus.
Yeah. So that'll be all for now. We'll see you guys on the next one. Keep supporting us now. Keep supporting us. Bye for now.